So here's the first phase. The first phase is really just who you help and what you sell. Okay. So number one is a niche is knowing that you need a niche, which equals a filter for trust. So you want to speak to one specific person, which helps out a lot because, I had this client in the beginning. He's helped so much people, right? Like he was a personal trainer in person. He's helped women, he's helped men, he's helped men over 30, all that stuff. So he had an experience of helping all these different people. But the only thing is, the online space is so big. There's literally millions of people coming into this space every single day, and especially the online fitness coaching space is so big. So if you don't niche down, then you're never going to be able to truly resonate with people, especially because it's like, okay, if you're first starting off and let's just say you help men, I'm just giving you an example. Let's say you help men get in shape, right? That's so broad that like if I was a man and I wanted to get in shape, but I see you and then I see this other person who has over thousands of different testimonials and he's already built an audience and he already has all this stuff, who am I going to click more? I'm always going to go towards the better person. That's just human nature, right? So if you create a niche, like I help busy dads over 35, now I'm like, wow. Hold on, I had a client that just messaged me at the stage of where. Okay. Anyways, what's it called? Now, if you're super niche, like, oh, I'm a busy dad over 35 and I want to lose weight, I want to lose fat. Now you're speaking directly to me, which allows you to increase trust because you're just resonating with that specific person so much more. So this perfectly leads me into the second thing, which is focus on one transformation. So when I first started, I wanted to help people with everything. I wanted to help people with their mindset. I wanted to help people with, lose weight, get in shape, do this, do that. Because I had the skill of helping people with multiple different things, right? But the thing is, that is exactly why I couldn't get any clients, and that is exactly why I couldn't charge higher prices. Because the thing is, if you try to help everybody, you end up helping nobody, right? There's this saying where it's like, simple scales, fancy fails, and it's the honest truth. So when you focus on one transformation, you have one niche, and you have one single offer, that is the path to making 10K a month, because it's just so much more clear, right? Like if I say, oh, I help you get shredded, I help busy dads over 35 get shredded, then I'm like, oh, I know exactly who you're targeting. I know exactly what you offer. I know the exact transformation I get. So there's just a lot of clarity, and people buy clarity, right? So having one niche, one offer is going to allow you to get to 10K a month. Now, the third thing that I want to talk about is increasing the value of your advice, because the truth is, in the online space, there is infinite amounts of information, right? There's people posting videos every single day, people just giving advice. People can go to ChatGPT and get advice. You know what I mean? So what's really going to help you separate yourself? It's simply by increasing the value that you get. Now, how do you increase the value that you get? It's by selling the identity shift, not the workout itself, right? A lot of people, they create content where you're telling people the reps that they should do. You're telling people you should do this, you should do that. But it's like, ChatGPT could give that. ChatGPT could give macro advices. ChatGPT could give, a workout routine, right? You could literally prompt ChatGPT and be like, hey, give me a workout that I should do to help me lose weight, all that stuff, right? So what people actually need is the identity shift, because ChatGPT hasn't lost weight, right? So when you sell the identity, that is when people buy you. People buy the identity because you are a living embodiment of what they want to achieve. So that is actually how you increase value. When you focus on identity shift, not like the micro details of like the workouts or the tracking the macros or XYZ. People don't care about that, right? If I was somebody who was fat and I wanted to get in shape, I don't care about macros. I care about getting shredded and, like being able to take off my shirt in the beach, all that stuff. So sell the identity. And how you create your content, when you create your content around the identity shift, it will bleed through, the value will bleed through the screen, right? Like, let's say if you're a fitness coach and instead of telling people that they should, enter a caloric deficit, if you're somebody who has your shirt off and you're in the beach and you're speaking with confidence, you're speaking on stage with a bunch of people, right? So you have that confidence. Who do you think is who do you think people are gonna relate to more? The person who's just speaking about some reps, or the person who literally embodies the identity of what they want to achieve? You see what I'm saying? Now, this perfectly leads me into the fourth thing, which is charge enough to care. Because here's the thing, when I first started off, I was thinking about charging like $50 and just low ticket prices, which is pretty much anywhere like below 1K prices, right? But you want to put your money where your mouth is. So you want to charge like you care. When you charge high ticket prices above 1K prices, it creates commitment, which equals results, which equals referrals, which equals more clients, you making more money, and you just helping more people, transforming more people, helping them create the reality, right? Because I'm sure you've bought maybe like low ticket programs, or even if you haven't, whenever you buy something that's cheap, you don't value it as much. So I don't know about you, but whenever I buy something expensive, I actually take the advice. I do it more. I'm more committed to it. I have a more emotional attachment and a commitment to it. So when you charge like you care about it, you end up getting the results, right? And you end up getting better client results. You end up attracting better people, and all that stuff. So charge like you care. And the fifth thing is don't solve imaginary problems. I had guys come up to me and he's like, hey, I want to start doing online fitness coaching, but I don't know what software to use, or I don't know, if I can even charge this high price, or what if I have 20 clients? How am I going to make this scalable, or all that stuff? But the thing is, you're living in a false world because you're trying to solve imaginary problems. You're trying to, have all these things that don't exist. Like, oh, what if I don't have my certification? Or what if I don't have all these fancy tools? This isn't scalable. But the thing is, you only want to solve the real pain that you have right now, which is getting your first client or starting, right? I remember when I started my online fitness coaching business, the only way I got my first client is by not thinking about the other stuff. Like, oh, how am I going to deliver to this person? How am I going to scale this to 50 plus clients? All that. So I didn't think about that. I just put one foot forward the other, right? Like, I remember when I moved to Miami and I started this brand new online coaching business, I didn't even know where I was going to live. But guess what? I cut the plane ticket, and once I ended up there, I figured it out, right? I was like, I called one of my clients. I was like, hey, can I stay in your place? He's like, boom, yeah, you could stay for 3 days. Came there, stayed. And then from there, I got an Airbnb, signed up for an Airbnb for an entire month. And then I built this brand new business from scratch, right? So I literally achieved 10K a month by not focusing on imaginary problems, but literally putting one foot forward the other, right? Now, if I cut this plane ticket and I started thinking about these imaginary problems, like, oh, I could have millions of things that go wrong. Like, what if I go homeless? What if I don't have a car? How am I going to walk to certain places? How am I going to get groceries? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? If I started thinking about that, then I would never be where I am today. So it's the same concept with your business. Just focus on the most important thing that's in front of you, right? Don't create imaginary problems. And that has allowed me to scale past 10K a month. Now, the sixth thing is authority over algorithm. right? So you don't need like viral videos. You just need like 100 of the right people to trust you, right? I mean, that's exactly how my client Aryan was able to add 30K cash collected with only 687 subscribers, right? Simply from the fact that like you could have a bunch of people that watch your videos, right? But what good does that do you if those people don't want to buy your thing, right? You could have a school of fishes. Like let's say you want to let's say you want golden fishes, right? And you cast a wide net. Now this net, imagine you attract all these random fishes, a blue color fish, you attract a red fish, all that stuff. But in reality, you want a golden fish. You want to taste a golden fish. You want to see what it's like. You want to experience the golden fish, right? What good does that do you if you cast this wide net and you attract all these other fishes that you don't necessarily want, right? Then it simply just doesn't matter. But let's say you cast a wide net where you catch a bunch of golden fishes, then what's going to happen, right? You're going to get more of what you want. You could cast a wide net and attract 2 golden fishes and hundreds of other random fishes, or you could cast the right type of net that attracts 100 golden fishes, right? 100 golden fishes is going to be better, right? And it's the same thing with you posting content. If you post a video, let's say, and you help busy moms lose weight, if you post a video that attracts 100 busy moms that lose weight, even though you don't get thousands of views compared to the person that gets millions of views but no busy moms who wants to lose weight, the person who attracts more of the right people is going to get more clients, help more people, help them create the reality and make more money, right? So the 7th thing is don't reinvent what already works. So follow a proven model, then innovate later, right? When humans created an airplane, the Wright brothers, they modeled it off of birds. So birds, they looked at birds because birds already knew how to fly, right? And it was designed, right? It's a proven thing that they could fly. When you look at birds, they fly. So even when creating an airplane, when they invented that idea they got from a bird. So they got the idea from something that already worked, right? Another example I could give you is Leonardo da Vinci during the Renaissance era. He created all these different paintings, but he was able to create such a good painting because he dissected, he took this a step further. He loved drawing human bodies, the heart and all that stuff, right? So he literally looked at physical hearts and he really looked at it and he drew it as he looked at it, which is what allowed him to become so good at it because he followed what already worked. It's not just in business, but it's in everything in life. You do what works, you follow a proven model, and then you innovate later and you change things up.